Good afternoon. This is Charlie from CKG Talk Radio. I'm making my first video. Don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to give it a shot. Let me say that, first of all, I have respect, for all people. But I do think that we all should live by the same set of rules, and we play by the same set of rules. Um, you know, we're allowing this illegal immigration thing to tear us apart at the seams, and we're taking sides. And I'm going to say this to my liberal friends. You all are wrong about this. You're wrong about taking sides against people who are not citizens and demanding a right for them and against your own against your own fellow Americans. That doesn't make sense to me. These people that are coming here illegally are not citizens. They're human beings, true enough, but that doesn't mean you give away the farm because they're human beings. These people should play by the same set of rules that everybody else plays by. So no, they're wrong. They shouldn't have a path to citizenship. They should go back to their country and come here the right way. That's how I feel. Now, and that's as far as my liberal friends, people who on television, and I'm thankful that I have this particular outlet here, because I'll never get a chance to do an interview or someone else hear my opinion other than where I am on the internet. So that's fine, So now that we got that out of the way, another thing that I don't really care for about my liberal friends, and I am thinking of becoming an independent myself, because liberals, we don't have a right to. We can't save everybody. Everybody don't deserve money to be thrown at them. That's not going to solve the problem. That's how I feel. I used to love to watch Joanne Reed on MSNBC, and I kind of fell away from Joanne because Miss Reed, because one day I was watching her, and she has some guests on there, and she said she told this one guest, "Oh, don't use the term illegal immigrant on my show or on this network," or something like that. And I said, What the hell? They are illegal immigrants. What are you talking about?" See, that's the pretense that my liberal friends are doing and talking about. You can't use this word, or you can't use. Now, listen, I'm not for you calling people niggers and all that stuff out in public. But if you want to call a person nigger in your home, that's your business. But not in public. You don't have a right to do that. Nor do I. I don't have the right to disrespect anybody, out in the streets at all. A public domain should be where they can be safe with their families, their family members, and all that. They have a right to do that. You understand? But I can say whatever I want here at this desk, in my home, and on my computer. I can say whatever I want. But I'm not here to put people down. I'm here for try to make sense out of what's wrong and add some right to the situation from my perspective. And I'm telling you, we have to stop and stand up as Americans. I don't care if you're black, white, Republican, Democrat, independent, whatever. We have to talk about, we have to speak to truth, have to speak to power, what's right. And the right thing, the truth of the matter is, you can say what you want to say about Donald Trump, and I'm going to probably agree with 90% of the stuff you say, or 98%. But that 1% of that thing where he did on the illegal immigrants, he got that right. And my brother President Obama got it wrong. There's some things that I really appreciate how that brother did what he did, how he represented us as a people, how he represented us as a country. But I disagree with some things that he did as well. No disrespect to the Obamas. I would not do that, but I will definitely disagree with him. I disagree when he signed the order for DACA for this reason. Mr. Obama, let me tell you something. There was a law in the books for reparation for black folks for 100 years. It never once came out of your mouth about it. You never spoke about it. You felt that was racist or whatever. Okay, fine. It was just as racist for you to sign a bill for DACA, who was Hispanic primarily. You understand? Who came here illegally. So that's the bone that I have to pick with you. You feel me? That's where I disagree with you, with what you've done. And the second thing, another reason I disagree with you. Listen, Mr. Obama, I don't particularly care about if a person are gay or whatever they is, or transsexual. I don't. That's none of my business. I shouldn't have no say in how that person or he or she choose to live their lives. But nor should I be advocating for that very same thing either. And that's another thing that you did that I disagree with. And you know, see, what I'm saying is we shouldn't take sides because we believe something. We should state our opinion, and the people are smart enough to know what's right and wrong. But why? You tell me the incentive that illegals have to stop coming here for until Donald Trump did what he did and started gathering them up in these places that they felt safe. That's why it dropped. President Mr. Obama. That's why it went down, because he actually applied the law. He didn't make no. It wasn't no that he was so smart. He just enforced the law that was on the books. You could have done that too. Sure, you deported people, but President Obama, you didn't listen. In my neighborhood, in one of the neighborhoods, particularly, I mean, people can go to the school, enroll their kids in the school, and you can't get your kid in it because it's all filled up, because now you got all these kids who are here illegally in class. That ain't fair to people that are working class, President Obama. That's not fair to black folk. But you didn't speak to that. You try to, we're not all the same. We don't have the same issues. Black folks and Mexicans do not have the same issues. We need to stop pretending that we do, because we don't. And you know, and you say, I'll say another thing to you. You say that, I don't say you, sir. I don't mean you personally, President Obama. I'm saying people would say, well, illegal immigrants don't, they're doing jobs that nobody else wants. Well, I'm going to tell you what. You ask any black sister and brothers that I know who are in the healthcare field, you know, home healthcare services, and working for the same wage that an illegal person is working for. Now you tell me how that's fair, and you tell me that they're not competing for the same jobs. You tell me that. Those individuals, that's the only job that those black folks can get to feed their families, and they're working not only competing with illegals from Mexico, they're competing for illegals from the Philippines, from everywhere else that they're legal. They dump right into our neighborhoods, and those are the people that have to be competing with. So don't say that what you're saying is not true. They are competing against black folks for jobs. And now my two daughters who are in school, who are living in Las Vegas, have to work the same low-wage job because there's 1,000 other illegal persons that will work for that job for that wage. Now you tell me how that's fair to my children. And they working 3 jobs just to pay their rent. You tell me what's fair about that. I mean, I'm listening. You, sir, you get a chance. You know, you happen to see this video. I mean, I'll leave my email. I'm not afraid to tell you, look, I'll stand by my convictions. You understand? And I'm going to tell you just like this. I do not agree with these people having a path to citizenship. It is wrong. It is not fair to the rest of us as Americans. It's not fair. We always should deal with what's fair. And you know, I'll tell you something. Just like, you know, a while back here when Dylan Roof went down there and killed those black folks in the Carolinas, in North Carolina. When he went down there and killed those people, you know, and he killed them because he was black. You didn't see no black folks rioting and murdering white folks or a race war started. We allowed, those people let the law take care of that individual. You see, the law will work. If we apply the law equally across the board, it works for everybody. And that's what we should be doing right here. And for this, Donald Trump, I admire you for what you're doing with that. You know, I admire that. I'm glad you're doing it. Now, that brings us to the next thing. I guess we might as well talk about this wiretapping thing. You know, I remember when President Obama gave his speech in the State of the Nation speech, or the Union, and someone in the audience yelled, "You lie," and nobody from the Republicans came out and condemned this individual. Hey, I wanted my conservative friends to know if Donald Trump is lying about anything. Did you say he lies about everything? Oh, I agree with you on that. But he lies about everything because it was a lie that put him in the White House. You see, he doesn't have to, he don't feel that he have to do what's right. Because there was you people out here in America, you know who you are, that hated President Obama so much that you cut off your own face because you wanted to hurt Obama. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you ain't hurt President Obama. That man moved on to his $10 million home and and did what he needed to do. You ain't hurt him, because Obama, I gotta tell you, he tried to do the right thing. He wasn't perfect, but he did a lot of things that was fair, righteous. I gotta give him that. But because he wasn't perfect, sure, he screwed up some things. But I'm gonna tell you just like this. You all do not hold Trump to the same position that you held Obama to. Hold Trump feet to the fire. This man could he could say that former President Obama created a felony, violated the law to wiretap him. Listen, I just gave Donald Trump some accolades and agreed with him on something. Let me say this. President Obama would not have done such a thing because that man was there for 8 years. And people, just think about his presidency. He did not have one scandal in the White House. Nor did his wife. She was just as gracious as you could be. And yet, nobody praised them for what they did. And I'll tell you another thing. Listen, I guarantee you now, we missing him, aren't we? You guys are longing for Obama now. Because he was smart, he knew what he was doing, and he kept us safe. And not only that, when the economy was handed to this man, it was in shambles. And there was a lot of white folks out there saying, oh, he don't know what he's doing, we are in trouble. That man saved our asses. That's what he did. He was smart, the people around him were smart, he had good people working with him, there were people wanting him to succeed, and he got the job done. And now that brings us to illegal immigrants. Listen, that's the one thing that Donald Trump got right. We cannot afford to give away citizenship to another 20 million people and they're here illegally. No, I ain't down with that. They broke the law. No, I ain't with it. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm going to ask a question. Do any of you out there, anywhere in the world, think that 20 million black men would be allowed to run around, illegal black men, to be allowed to run around in this country and stand on the street corners and do what they do and violate the rules and run lights and get license and all this other stuff and still be and walk the streets openly? Hell, a black man can't even walk the street and he's a citizen. It ain't happened lately. We was getting shot like we was at a circus here, just this past summer. And you know what? Take that back in Vallejo. There was a police officer whom I happen to know. He was beating this kid. Now I wasn't there, so I'm only watching the video that was on YouTube. The kid was sitting on the ground and he was beating him with a flashlight, punching him in the face, and he's still on duty. That's not, you're not going to get a community to follow, to be behind you when you treat citizens like that, man. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. So we'll wait and see about the outcome of that. I don't want to get ahead of that. But so far, we'll see what's going on with that. And let's back to what I was saying about, black folks having to compete for the same jobs as illegal immigrants. Do it all the time. We do that all the time. I personally don't. I'm an old man, so I don't have to worry about that. But these young kids, they have to. They have to worry about it. And I'm telling you just like this, if any of I would like to see somewhere on a television, I mean on one of the shows, someone challenged my person about what the contributions that illegal immigrants make. Challenge them. Don't say, oh, they pay taxes. No, yeah, they pay very few taxes. You're right. But I'm going to tell you something. They send a lot of money out of the country. A lot of money. Some $25 billion just to Mexico alone. Every person that's here send money out of the country. I've been in Safeway when they were sending it to the Philippines, everywhere, all over the place. Those are dollars leaving this country. And they're sending it outside of America. It's not being spent here. These are illegal immigrants doing this. So how is that helping us? How are we benefiting from that? Get the answer? Share it with me. Listen. And another thing. This is to my liberal friends. Do you know that the Mexican government itself spent $50 billion for illegal immigrants to have representation in our country? $50 million to give an illegal immigrant, lawyers. Well, hell, man. That's telling me that the government want these people to come here because they're getting this free money. We shouldn't go for that. We should be treated with respect. We should respect them. They should respect us. And then, I'll tell you another thing. This is why I disagree with President Obama about DACA. Because those kids want to sponsor their parents into our country, and they ain't legal. Why should they have a right to sponsor another illegal going to sponsor another illegal? That makes no sense. They are using us, people. We need to stop this shit. We're done. We don't need to do that. And I tell you, I'm voting for the next man who's going to make illegals have to deal with the same situation, do things right like me. I'm voting for that person. I don't give a damn if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It will no longer be status quo for me. And I am definitely going to preach this as much as I can to everybody. That should be a price paid for them, just like it's a price paid for us. Period. Fair is fair. And if we do that, we can get a handle on this division that's in our country. It ain't got nothing to do with race. Very little. No more than it had back in the day. People are going to be racist. But it does have something to do with our country when we allow people to come here, and then just because a person is white and speaks up about it, we yell racist. They're not racist. And I'm asking any white person that wants support and wanted to really discuss this thing, I'll stand with you. And yes, illegal immigrants should not have the right to any legal document, and they're here illegally. They broke the law. So listen, this is my first video. I'm going to end this right here, right now, and try to edit this thing and see if I can get it out on the air and take a look at it and see if I like what I see, what I hear, and then I'll post it. It's been a great pleasure talking to you guys. Spewing my little venom, I guess. So again, I hope this work out and we can grow this thing and get some people interested and discuss all this. Get this discussion going, and try to just see if we can bring about a change. Again, this is C King with CKG Talk Radio.